there is a very big difference between traditional publishing, i.e. a publisher taking on your work, and self-publishing, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And which one is best? Self-publishing or traditional publishing? Now, like everything, there are pros and cons to everything, and each of every method is always going to have pros to it and always going to be great. I certainly have aspirations to one day hand over my IP to a publishing house. However, here are the main differences, just for you to consider what they are. When you go down the traditional publishing route, i.e. you have a publisher take on your work, there are a few things just for you to be aware of. Now, every publisher works differently, every contract is different, so I'm just going to give you a real overview of the stereotypical type of differences here with going with a traditional publisher versus self-publishing. With traditional publishers, usually there is a very long lead time to getting your work published if somebody takes you on a tool, and that first step of getting taken on a tool can be a very lengthy process. You do need to have written the majority of your transcript so that you have something to show people. They need to see an overview of your work. So it almost has to be finished before you can go out there and start finding agents or publishing houses that might take you on. Now, if you do get through those loops of being taken on by a publishing house, you then have up to 2 years, quite often, before the book is published. You're also handing over the IP to your publishing house when you do that. They are in charge of your work, they're in charge of how it's edited, they're in charge of how they want you to rewrite it, often to a significant degree. They're in charge of the marketing, they're in charge of the branding, and you're also expected to market as well. However, as you've probably seen, some of the biggest authors out there are as big as they are because they've gone through a traditional publishing house, because of the fact that they have those massive relationships with the massive bookstores, getting you out into those much bigger chains, and also getting you into the airport bookstores, onto the giant billboards, and doing mass marketing for you. Thank you. Just had a coffee delivered by the husbands. Thank you very much. So obviously there are really big benefits to how fast you can advance through getting found and seen once you are published by a traditional publishing house. But be aware of the fact that it's a long time, up to 2 years from the contract signing to the book publishing, and you are very much handing over the control of that book to the publisher. If you want to print copies, you've got to do it through them. If you want to make a change, you've got to do it through them. You don't get to control what the branding is, what the cover looks like, and so much more. However, obviously the benefits, the reach, the impact, and potentially the income is significantly higher than doing it by yourself. Self-publishing, on the other hand, is where you get much more control, in fact 100% of control over your book. Self-publishing allows you to very quickly write and publish a book. You control everything from the price, how much money you keep, what you sell it for, what it's in it, what's on it, how many copies you print, who you print and sell them to. You own absolutely all of the rights, it's all yours. So I really love the self-publishing model because of the flexibility, because of speed, and if right now your goal is to simply give yourself status and credibility within your field, there is nothing quite as amazing as having a book to be able to do that. So I love the self-publishing route. Just to give you guys some idea of what's possible, absolutely anything's possible. Here's a number of books that I have personally written and published. These were all written and published before AI existed. I've got everything from these informational educational books. I've printed journals. So here is like a 365-day journaling book that people can print out and write inside. I've also even published a number of children's books as well. So anything is possible when it comes to self-publishing.